Hey guys, I'm out in the back garden. The paint did turn up yesterday. The postman, being the knob that he is, he left it in with the neighbours. He said, "Oh, I don't believe in knocking the door, and I don't even knock the window if they're not in. I don't bother delivering it," which is the posties way around here. I've complained about it many times, but they don't do anything about it. So I finally got some paint down, although with some screw ups. Now, as you can see, there they all are. And the second warp nacelle, I thought I'd lost it then. Now, I screwed up. I put a layer of paper on, newspaper on there, spray painted, everything was going fine. The only trouble is, the newspaper got stuck to the model. You can see it there, and there, and a bit on there. So I've scraped the newspaper off, scraped the paint off the best I can, and I've repainted it. I could class that as battle damage maybe, I don't know how it's going to come off. But I thought everything was going so well, and then I screw up. On every model I do, I always screw someone up. The bottom piece, that's turned out okay, not too bad, so that's thankful. The seam ain't too bad. I'm not going to do anything with it, to be honest, as I've done with the screw, so I ain't going to bother. They're the warp nacelles. Now that's just some masking tape that I've put on, so I'm going to take that off in a bit. I've also masked that off as well. Same as on this warp nacelle, that's just masking tape, and so on that light as well. Hopefully they'll look good. Now here's the tail. On the one side, perfect. On the other, again, newspaper damage. Little newspaper damage there, and a bit around there. So again, scraped it off, did my sandpaper the best I could, and to be honest, that ain't too bad of a job. It's recovered quite nicely. Now, the headpiece on that side, perfect. On that side, not so perfect. Again, newspaper. There was that piece gone there. There's a bit of a chunk missing there as well. But all in all, not bad. Now the paint that I used, I went back to the army painter and I did the army green. Now the good thing about that primer, it's actually 2-in-1 spray. It's actually primer and spray paint in one, so at least I haven't got to put the black down and then the green. But all in all, the pieces haven't turned out too bad, minus my battle scars, I could call it. So I thought I was doing really well, and then I screw up. So note to self for next time, don't use newspaper. Stay with me guys, stay tuned. Hi guys, welcome back. Apologise for the shaky cam. Right, now, there we go. One thing I wanted to address, I've just glued this together and I'm waiting for the glue to dry. One thing I want to address, just trying to get this, there we go. On Trexworks videos, he had an issue with the warp nacelles into the main wings. I am having the same issue. You can see there's a massive gap on the lower and on the upper. Now I'm going to wait for this glue to dry, which will be I'm going to do this tomorrow, and I'm going to try and get some modelling clay in there and in there. And I've also, let's see if I can turn this over. I've also, sorry, difficulties of doing this one hand. I've got the same on the other side as well. Now also, you can just about make there each side of the tape with my fat fingers. I've got the same issue on the outers as well, so I'm going to have to try and put some modelling clay on there as well. Also, I've also glued the headpiece in now, and on the joinage gap on the lower and upper support arms, I've got the gap there as well. So again, the modelling clay is going to come out, and I'm going to do that all the way around and on the bottom there. And then once that's done and sanded down, I'm going to decant some of this paint off me spray paint, and then go out very hastily, go around the gaps on the white where I've put the modelling plate on around there as well. Also, I want to address this. I took that newspaper damage. I've done some weathering on there, and it's come out really nice. You can barely see it now, so I can forgive myself a little for that newspaper damage. Stay tuned, guys. Hi guys, welcome. Now, in the previous update I was telling you about the filling of the nacelles into the wings. All that's done now. Sanded down painting, and the rest of the warbird is done. The detailing, the decaling, the weathering, and finally the clear gloss coat to seal her in is all done. And there's now the final reveal. Now, there she is. Sorry about that, guys, just had to sit down. There she is, all done. Just give it you can see a nice shine there. Right, now where to start? I'll start on the head first. Now, as you can see, I've done all the decaling and all the detailing. Now, all over the model, I decided to do a bit of a weird change around, because I did the weathering first, and then I put the decals on top of the weathering, because I didn't want any weathering to get on top of the decals like I did with the Battlestar model, and I covered the Galactica logo, the Galactica nameplate up. I didn't want to do that with this Warbird. So anyway, again, you can see all the decals, the various lights. Now, the one thing I did want to address first was the Romulan Star Empire logo. Now, the best thing you can do is put all your decals, the upper decals on first, which I think is decal 1 to 5, both sides, and then put your Romulan Star Empire logo on the top. Let me just get the box for a sec. Right. Because as you can see on the box art, I don't think you can tell from the back. Right, steady that a bit. As you can see from the box art, they're spaced out a bit more than the one on my model. Now, what you might want to do is have a look at your decals, and then try and place them while they're still wet, and try and space them out a bit more than I have done. Because what you might want to do is you might want to trim them down a bit more, because I didn't. And then hopefully you'll have a bit more space in between the decals, the light decals, and the logo than I have. Now, another thing I've got to address with these decals is this decal here. Now, that is decal number 7, and it's stepped over those 3 sections there. Now, those 3 sections are quite deep, so I cut the decal on the paper into 3 pieces and then applied them on that way, because I didn't want them to step over, so I wasn't sure if they'd sit right once glued down, well, glossed down with the clear gloss. Another thing as well is these 2 channels here. Now, the decals for those, I think it's decals 5 and 6. You might have a bit of trouble getting them into the channels. So what I had to do with my brush was get it right in and press them down into the channels, trying to get up the channel sidewalls. But apart from that, they went in really nice. Now, also, there's this decal here. Now if you remember from my first update, there was a bit of newspaper damage on this section here, but with the weathering, because I took the unusual step of weathering first, the weathering covered it up nicely, and then the decal covered it up even further. Now if you also, I've also explained this twice now, if you can just make it out, that scar there with the weathering, I've also matched it on this side as well. Right, now last but not least, channeling. I filled it in, as you remember. I've smoothed it down the best I can all the way around, and then sprayed. I got one of those, you know, them cheap little flyers you get for the post, advertising various services. Well, it's a nice glossy, shiny piece of paper, so I just sprayed on top of the paper and just did it by hand very quickly, because it doesn't take long to dry on the piece of paper. And then I applied the decals. Now that decal, as you can see, goes from there all the way back there. It's quite a long decal, but I managed to get it in the end. And it took a few goes for me to get it right, but eventually it went in and smoothed down. I've also got these decals as well. That one was it's that decal there. That was a step decal, but the step ain't too bad. I managed to get it right underneath there on the sidewall and get it down. That one's a step decal as well, and that wasn't as deep as that one. And then you add that decal. Now that decal is number 21, but on the decaling sheet, not the decal sheet, the instruction sheet for the decals, it doesn't say anything about decal 21. So if you're wondering where decal 21 goes, it goes there. Now that's the headpiece all explained. Now, sorry about the shake cam, guys, my hands are getting quite tired now. Right, as you can see in there, I filled that in, and I filled that in again with the spray paint by hand. Now I don't know if you can make that out. You can probably just make that out there. It's not the best job in the world because I couldn't get my sandpaper right in, but it looks a whole lot better than it did. There's no gappage now, and like I said, it all on both sides as well. Now, as far as the warp nacelle plate goes, the glow in the dark, I tried to do an update last night so I could show you the glow in the dark parts glowing, but my camera phone won't pick it up. So many apologies for that, but like I said, if you do use the glow in the dark parts, you will see a nice subtle glow, and it does show off quite nicely. Right, now I've also done these in the detailing here and underneath as well. I don't know if you can make that out, to be honest, but I've done it anyway. Now I was experimenting with some of my greens. Now for those, I went with a green, my leaf green, and some black, and it went in quite nicely. I was experimenting, as I said, and then I had some of that black and green and black left for weathering, which I'll explain in a bit. Now, as you can see there, there's a decal for the nacelle outer plate. Now on the top, let me just stand up, apologise for that. Right, as you can see, I've done these grills as well. Now with that, I went with the leaf green again, the black and some silver to give it a nice metallic look. I don't think you can make the look out, to be honest. And as you can see, I've done some of the weathering as well. Now let me just get the box again. Now what I tried to do, if I can get it to stand up, I tried to recreate some of that effect there. Now that looks like a greyish weathering. So basically, I've got some greyish blue paint, and I tried to dry brush it on, but it wouldn't it wouldn't go down for some stupid reason. So what I did is I mixed the grey, the bluish grey, with a little black. And as you can see, I do apologise because I'm still learning when it comes to my weathering. And as you can see, I've gone a bit overboard on that side, and I'm not so much on this side. But as you can see, the weathering has actually brought out the feathering effect, and I was hoping it would do that, and it's done a really nice job. Let me just, where's that battle damage? There's the battle damage there. I don't know if you can make it out, but the weathering has made it look like battle damage, the newspaper damage, a little bit there as well. But all in all, she ain't too bad. Now, as I said, I had some the greeny black left over, and I also used a bit of that mainly on the headpiece. To be honest, I don't think you can make it out, but like I said, mainly on the headpiece, and I had a little bit on here as well. Now going to the tail, there's the Romulan Style Empire logo, which is the same as the one in the front, same size. Done a bit of filling in there. Virtually last but not least is the tail. Won't rest me off. There's one decal there. Then you got the main rectangular decal, which went in quite nice. A channel decal there, another little decal there, and another little decal there. These decals went in quite nice, but what I did is I waited until I did all the filling, which would have been there, underneath there. You can make a bit of filling out there and underneath there, because I didn't want to get any of the dust, the sanding dust off of the modelling clay on the decal. So like I said, I left the decal until last, and it looks quite nice actually, not too bad at all. Right, now just a bit more filling I want to show you before I end this video. As you can see there, some filling there. Again, not the best job in the world, but it looks a whole lot better than it did. And then I'll get it on once over with the clear gloss. Now, as you can see on the shiny edges there, the clear gloss is dried quite nicely, but on the inner plate, it's dried completely dry and not left a gloss finish. But I'm not really bothered about that, to be honest, because it's left quite a nice finish, especially on the headpiece. When I did the headpiece and then before I glued it in, I was hoping that would replicate on the rest of the model, which it has done, and it's give it a nice shine. Now the stand, it's just there you go, it's just the dome and then a pole and then like a swivel thing. You might want to glue that into place once you got it in the right. Get some super glue or something and glue that in. But that, she's all done. Now hopefully you've enjoyed my videos now. Excuse me, I've got a touch of the hay fever. And hopefully I'll see you soon. And thanks for watching, guys. Bye.